Welcome! It's a great day to be a miner, and before you, I have a couple of NerdQaxe pluses, and today we're going to make them better. We're going to nerd out. But first, let's go ahead and spin that intro. Alright, yeah, so before you, we have two different variations of the NerdQaxe NerdQaxe. Yeah, this one is the Solo Satoshi Rev 6. If you want to check out the video on that, check that out above. But basically, this one is very upgraded and has a smarter design than the original. Basically, it has added thicker gold traces, different power connector, moved some of the components around, and what does that make a difference for? Well, that allows us to better overclock it and to keep the heat down, because heat is a lot of the times the barrier that stops us when we are pushing these things up and overclocking. On this side, I have the Bitcoin merch version. Check out the video up above on it. This guy, very nice piece of hardware, very great piece of tech. However, it does not perform in overclocking nearly as well. You would say, but Altered, they have the same fan and same cooler. I hear you barking, big dog. On the fronts, yes, they are using the same coolers. However, the thermals are not as good on this. On the VR, the voltage regulator temps, what's delivering the power to the unit, the ASIC temps are really comparable. Let's just jump over into a remote session and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about. And then we're going to come back and we're going to show you how to upgrade the cooling for really cheap on this guy so that it performs nearly as well as this guy. So yeah, without further ado, let's go check it out. Go. All right, so here we are over in our remote session, and we're going to check out both of the current miners. We'll check out the Solo Satoshi first, and that is this guy. Let's go ahead and move me out of the way so that we can better see this thing. And we'll slide on over. Okay, so there you can see that our hash rate is pretty consistent. The power usage on this guy is 80.5 watts with the current overclock. The ASIC temperature, 49.6. The VR temperature, and this is what we're kind of looking at here, is 40.1. Okay, so we've got 49.7 and 40.1, 80.8 watts. Now let's check out the Bitcoin merch version, the non-Rev 6. So power usage pretty much the same, 80.4. The ASIC temperature is a little higher at 50.4, and then the VR temperature at a whopping 55.5. Yeah, that is 15 degrees higher on the VR temps. So yeah, so that's what we're going to try to improve today. So without further ado, let's jump back over and tear into this thing. Go. All right, so as you can see, this guy just does not have the thermal capacity that this guy does, and again, it's because of all the upgrades that are stock with this setup. But without further ado, we want to show you a new product. First, quick disclaimer, we paid for this with our own cold hard crypto. That means the opinions in this video are that of our own, blah blah blah. This was not provided for us for free or anything like that, or paid sponsorship. Yeah, that means we can say whatever we want. This was from IX Tech, and they have another great products, including different coolers for bitaxes and bitaxe variants and NerdQaxe and other cool things. So we did do a previous video where we improved all of our bitaxe gammas and replaced the coolers with a nice new hefty cooler that we picked up from IX Tech. Check that video up above. But yeah, this one we picked up as well, and we thought it was really innovative and cool, and so we're going to show it to you. You know what time it is, baby? RGB knife. There's not really anything to cut open, but we did it anyway. All right, there it is. You're like, oh, cool. It's a shroud. It's a 3D printed shroud. Yeah, basically it's a 3D printed shroud, but it's a really great design. Right on the top it says plebbase.com, and it says NerdQaxe up here. We'll take a close-up look of it. But basically, this guy is going to allow us to upgrade our fan. And we're going to change from this smaller fan to a 120 millimeter standard PC fan. And then it also has this extra slot up here. So this extra slot up here will provide extra cooling on the VR, the voltage regulation, and that will keep the the temperature down so that we could actually overclock further and push this thing better. So without further ado, check this guy out, and we're gonna unhook this, we're gonna clear it off, and then we're gonna tear this down and we're gonna install it. So let's make this stuff disappear. Ready? Go. All right, so we looked at our numbers and we figured out that our VR temps are pretty bad on this guy. The two things that are actually holding us back from really overclocking these things are the temps, and then number two is the power supply. Of course, we could upgrade the power supply, do like a mean well, like we've done with some of our bitaxes, but we're just gonna do the cooler upgrade today and see how that goes. Now, when it comes to fans, 120 mil, we've got a plethora on the overstock. These are AAA wave fans. These are really nice. These were great for mining rigs because they had the super long cable with the easy daisy chain setup. We have that. They have the 4-pin. They are PWM. That means they go up and down based on whatever the temperature are. They're not a static run. We have the P112 or the P12 Arctic fans. These are really high quality pressure static fans. They really move some air, so that might be our option. And then of course we've got a number of different RGB variants. This one is an infinity mirror ARGB fan. I'm sure it doesn't perform as well, but it would look a lot cooler, and we all know that RGB adds hash rate, so maybe we should go with the RGB. Let's eliminate this guy because that big cable will probably get on my nerves. So Arctic or RGB? Tell us which one you would pick down in the comments. Which one would you go with? The RGB with the generic RGB infinity mirror center, or the plain Arctic with probably a lot more air? And this is how it'll mount onto here. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. Let's do the better cooling. So yeah, first and foremost, we'll go ahead and figure out how we want to mount this, how we want the cable to actually run. The fan headers are up here, and there are a number of fan headers on this guy. There's actually not a number. There's two fan headers. They're right beside the display on this version. So we don't want a lot of extra slack on this thing. So I think what we'll do is we'll actually run it around itself like this. And so it's wrapped all the way around, and then we'll just wire clip it right up here to this hole, and then that way we don't have a whole bunch of slack. So that's how we're gonna mount it, just like that. And then for mounting, we'll just mount straight down into it. And let's get a close-up as we're working on this, and then we'll get it mounted on here. All right, so there it is. That's what it looks like. And we're just gonna put our 4 normal fan screws down in here and see if it'll mount clear in. These should work perfect, just the standard fan header screws. Clear through, almost. Okay, so we started down in. Of course, we'll put links for this cooler down in the description, but I believe you can even find your own file for this. So I'll go out and look and see if there's a 3D printed file if you choose to 3D print your own. Of course, we would recommend printing it in at least PETG. PETG is a harder, more high temp filament, and it actually will stand the high temps a little better. So rather than using standard PLA, on this, PLA may work because it's not, you probably better go PETG because it really is against the cooler, but by the time the heat gets up to that far in the cooler, unless you're extreme overclocking, your PLA probably would work, but we definitely recommend going PETG. Or of course you could order it like we did, and then you don't even have to worry about switching filaments and all that. All right, so fan mounting, easy peasy. There's our mount. There's our additional airflow gap right here, and then the rest of it goes. Make sure you're doing the right direction too. Most fans, the logo side, it's pulling in and blowing out through the vented side, so that actually will suck into the cooler. And now let's unplug this guy and take out the other cooler and the other fan. So this is pretty easy. You just have your standard fan header. Make sure that it unclips from the little bracket so that you don't rip your wires, and never grab the wires, grab the plug itself. And now for the mounting of the fan to the cooler, it's actually using a retention bracket. So you've got just a long bracket here, and then it clips on both sides. So we're gonna unclip both sides, and we're gonna pop this thing off of here. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little flathead to get under this one. Pop it out, and then this side, same thing, and then pop it out. And so our top bracket is free. It's just this little metal bracket, if I can get it off the wire here, just like that. And then the same thing with the bottom. So the good thing about this swap, you're not actually taking the cooler off, unmounting it, repasting it, which, although repasting it with a premium thermal grizzly cryonaut or something like that actually is probably a good thing. So there's our fan. Oh, there's a little bit of dust already accumulated in there. So we're gonna get our air duster and we're gonna blow that thing out real quick. And if you don't have one of these, you're doing it wrong. These things are USB-C chargeable. They put out a ton of air, and they're usually on sale between $20 and $30. I'll put a link for this one down in the description. You just hold the power. This thing is super nice, and it does a ton of air movement. So ready, noise warning. All right, there we go, blown out. Still got some surface, not bad. All right, so for the next one, the good thing is that we should be able to use the same retention brackets to hold this mount on here. So we're gonna see if we can actually get it on there. This is our first time mounting one of these, so we're gonna find out. In theory, we should be able to use the same brackets. Hook one side. Might be a little easier said than done, huh? Okay, took a little finagling, a little wibble wobbling, but it's on there on the bottom one. Now let's get the top one on there. So I'm just kind of putting it into one hole first. It's a bit of a tight fit. One side is in, now the other side is in, and then kind of wiggle it back and forth while you squeeze it so that it stays on. Oh boy, that is a big boy, the big boy looking upgrade. Look at this thing. Looks nice though. Doesn't, even though it's a giant fan and giant cooler adapter on there now, it doesn't look like crazy obnoxious, I don't think. So we're gonna go ahead and just plug in our fan header. And there is our fan header plugged in and raring to go. We'll later put a little clip here to hold this piece of wire, although it's kind of tensed up. I want to pull it a little tighter just so it looks a little better, and then clip it there. But yeah, there it is swapped. Okay, so we got it on here. Here's the old fan, and not to mention this is only like a 10 millimeter thick, and of course this 120 is more like a 20 millimeter thick, so that makes a big difference. in the amount of air movement as well, because then your fan blades are wider. And then this Arctic design pulls a ton of air. So it is set up. Let's fire it up and see how it does. It's a good start when it fires right up, fan moves. We're gonna let this thing run for a few minutes, and then we're gonna go check the dashboard, and we're gonna see what kind of improvement we got with the same stock settings. So let's go. All right, we let this thing run for a while, and what did our final results get? Well, we dropped the VR temp only about 5C, but again, this is on stock settings, not too bad. Pretty sweet looking upgrade though, to be honest. And where this kind of upgrade is going to shine is on the upper end. Once you really push the voltage in this thing and overclock it. You know what? Let's timer warp real quick and take a look. Ready, go. Boom! Future altered with an altered future. Yeah, we are in the future now, and this thing is performing really well. Once we really cranked it, we did some playing, we cranked it up, we cranked it down. Where it really shined was when we overclocked this thing, when we overclocked the crap out of it, when we turned it way up on both the voltage and the frequency. This actually helped cool it. As you can see right here, there's a little bit of dust, but there's a gap right here. This guy is putting air directly onto these 3 aluminum heat sinks, and this whole area right here is actually being cooled by this little slot. So that's helping to keep at least the front of the board cooled. Now, if we wanted to take it to the next step, we would go ahead and plug in a second fan and cool the back of this thing, and then all of a sudden this thing turned into a juggernaut, much like the Solo Satoshi version. So yeah, there it is. Tell us your thoughts. What do you think of this kind of upgrade? Is it worth it? Are you overclocking these things? How far are you pushing them? Tell us all the fun stuff down in the comments, all the nerdy details. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for today's video. If you're new to mining and need some help, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. Always plenty of seasoned vets willing to help you out. And if you like the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. Plus, NerdQaxe.